Hey everybody, welcome back. I've got a couple more videos to make for you. Hopefully I'll get them out this week. We'll see how the week goes. Tons and tons of stuff coming in last night, which reminds me, excuse me, I had a vision that I wanted to share with you. See people coming home. But that's not part of this reading. Okay. So let's speak into the new moon, which is happening on August the 27th in the UK, in Virgo, Western astrology. And I understand now why when I meditated with Virgo a couple of days ago, she took me right up the fractal to look at a much bigger picture. And only this morning has that picture started to download, and it's wonderful. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Where's that card gone? Okay. I'll try and stay focused. I rewatched the video I made yesterday. It was actually way more coherent than what I was hearing and what was present here. So focus is the key, and that speaks into the new moon. All right. So Virgo at 4, so the new moon in Virgo at 4 degrees. So 4, physical, foundation, home, body, earth. Mars is in Gemini, also at 4 degrees, is squaring the sun and the moon. This might feel like being pulled in opposite directions. It's beautiful, thank you. Pulled in opposite directions or many directions at once. Scattered, unfocused choices, perhaps the frustration of what you want and how you can or can't make it happen. Again, we have the discernment of the past, bringing the past to the present, or approaching the present in that virginal way, without history. Okay, so that square, another square, is being supported by Virgo, who wants us to tread step by step, all right? So Virgo is supporting in this energy. Mercury will have moved out of Virgo on the 27th and into Libra, weighing things out with a more balanced approach. So this might be literally choosing a new narrative that's more balanced and true to you, centered. So we're talking about the scales of Libra, so it's finding the center in that. In this new moon, Mercury will trine Mars in Gemini, and that will give us an energy of figuring out new ways to communicate, finding truth, focus, and clarity. I might call this new moon bringing order to chaos, and that could be chaotic thoughts, chaotic communication. Knowing the difference between speaking from your heart and speaking from your wounding. And remember, Kundalini plus conflict equals alchemy. As a matter of curiosity, this morning I did the numerology for alchemy. It's really interesting. It's particularly interesting because I'm going to tell you a story in a moment about a young man. And this speaks straight into how I met him. So alchemy, the urge of soul, which is the vowels, the top line, is the 13-4. So that's the divine feminine coming into that 4, is the 4 again. Okay, so 13 moons coming into the 4, the masculine, the physical, to build in a new way to express through that passionate feminine. The personality, the consonants, are 18-9. So here we go with that heavy 18 energy, the giving over of ego to serve something bigger than yourself. It is the dissolution of that ego that has a point to prove. or the ego that wants to intimidate. It's heavily karmic, heavily karmic. And put those two numbers together and you get the mirror 31, 13, 4. It's the inward, but this is Libra. It's the inward and outward expression. Expression is in the 4, that's materializing through. I put 2 and 2 together as well yesterday. The judgment card is actually linked to Archangel Gabriel. This is the throat. This is where the inner voice becomes the outer voice. It is that manifestation of truth in the world. So you've got it in that beautiful mirror, 31, 13, 4. When that mirror is out of alignment, then we're speaking from our wounding, we're speaking from our trauma. And here is my story. I've called it the boy rapper in the shop. Up he steps, all front and fear. Working his manhood in the only way he knew how, spitting verse and beating his chest. Intimidation is his soul song. I stand riveted, unable to decipher or understand his inner clarion. The boy Gabriel walks towards me. I stand riveted. Allowing him to finish his rhyme, I simply say, more. He blushes, seen, fully met. He spits out another verse, and we smile at one another. He returned to his pack, all Mars and testosterone. So this young boy, he was probably 14 at that initiatic boy into man age. And clearly was no one strong enough to guide him. Could only express his soul urge by intimidating others so that he can re-embed his inner belief that he is unlovable. Being fully seen and met by me caused him to blush, to see himself and his beauty, more than he bargained for. That was yesterday. This morning, I woke up half in and half out of a dream about a program I did back in 2017. And I woke up dreaming of the warrior program. Now, I'll show you this. So this is my workbook. And if anybody's interested, warriorprogram.org.uk, if you're connected to the military or if you're part of the military family, this is a fully funded program, which I cannot recommend highly enough. It was unexpected. So it's a program for Army veterans and family, which I joined as part of my therapeutic work with soldiers, and it was life-changing. And here's my certificate. I know it's just a piece of card, but I earned that. I went through the fires of hell to get that. And I begin to wonder about our inner boy, the part of us learning how to use tools to step up to the magician's table, learning how to feel strong and confident within ourselves and figuring out how to express that confidence without any shade. Rereading my warrior notes this morning and seeing that one of my tutors actually passed away this April. Much love, Dave Cawthorne, a wonderful man, made me pick up my own words. My words pulled out of me by the British Army. It was around this time that I wrote a poem that to this day makes me tremble when I read it, and I am looking at it and I'm trembling. The poem speaks to Kundalini rising, spitting verse and absorbing just a little poison to build resilience. The army pulled a book of poetry out of me. It met me, and in meeting me, I saw myself more fully. Whilst searching for my warrior notes, I also discovered several old decks of cards. So I'm in a massive retrograde, which I'm sharing with you because the energies are pertinent to what's happening. Old deck of cards, which brought to mind Archangel Michael. And suddenly I'm talking to you guys, and I said, I want to do something I've never done before. I want to pull in the energy of Archangel Michael. I've never worked with archangels in this way on camera. Michael to me is the ultimate soldier protector energy. So these are the cards. And I think they're, oh, here it is, look. They don't even have a box anymore. They're so old. Okay. Angel Oracle deck by Ambika Waters. I shuffled the card, and the first card that came out, this is the energy of the new moon, is to choose narrative, to elect a tone. Do we want to step up into each other's fields and beat our chest? Do we want to be intimidating because it's the only way to be met in this world? Do we want to express our frustration? How do we want to express our frustration? It's okay to be frustrating, and it's okay to be intimidated by life and want to be intimidating to others. That's okay, but find a way to express it. And then I turned the deck upside down. I promise you, that was staring at me. So I am granted the honor. Oh, God's sake. Of working with Archangel Michael. Oh, that's a big energy. I stand for justice and truth. I live from my integrity. Look at this beautiful serpent down here. Sword, pulling the sword out. Raising that kundalini. Ooh, okay. Now, some of you guys know me from the old channel, and you will have heard me. I'm going to read you a poem now. You will have heard me read this poem before. I've written lots of poetry, but this poem seems to be timeless and ageless. So the poem is called Smoking Cobra, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to read it. Okay. Smoking Cobra. And the smoke of her skinny roll-up helps her breathe it through, helps the toxic fog of her darkest emotions find shape and direction through billowing clouds of turmoil, taking flight on an unfurled snake of smoke. And the smoke helps her breathe it through, animating her rage, agitating her shadow. Smoke rolls out like a charmed snake to carry her story on helix embers of burnt tobacco. Out of eyes that sting, out of lungs that choke, she unfurls like that once coiled snake. Secretive, she conceals vivid color on a hood just waiting for an excuse to flare. She lies low and dormant, her story hidden, lest she rise and spit like a cobra, laying waste to all who step close. Her cigarette smoke leads her out where it is not safe, where she is open to derision and that pointing finger of judgment that keeps her small, where others see her shattered soul, where others feel her burning pain and use her suffering as benchmark for their own wellness. And I shrink like the cigarette that carries me, focusing my aim into a glimmering shard of courage, throat aching, words coming like daggers, slicing like scalpel through skin until I can feel myself bleed into the numb, open wound where there is no feeling. And scars open up once more, and once more I am in the void. Down to the nub, each filtered inhalation taking me deeper, becoming more toxic than the last, each out-breath leading me mercilessly through the chemtrail of my own confusion and rage as words push forth and verse starts to form. Words push forth and verse starts to form, and I write, body shaking, blood pumping through now clear veins, veins shaken free from unspoken detritus, free from shame, guilt, anger, and rage as I exhale heavily through smoke. Cigarette tip hangs limp, infused with story, shitty, brown, and poisonous from decaying memories, and I draw on that last hot burning toke where fingers sear and lips scorch, where unfettered rage and a love so deep I could burst come pouring forth like 1,000 cobras, spitting venom into verse with an aim so accurate I can maim instantly, and yet she is not poisonous. This shadow aspect, my smoking snake, is venomous, is open to the predation of others, fears others and yet knows her own sovereignty. She is me and I am her. I get to see, feel, hear, and taste her intense vulnerability. I see edginess in her eyes, can smell the tension of her shyness as it coyly rubs up against her innate power. And I know if I step aside, she will kill it by spitting verse. I know if I step aside, she will fill with love the space where doubt and fear once stood. And I know when I step aside, she will help me breathe my smoke through as I lovingly, fearlessly, yet venomously spit out a well-aimed verse. I don't want to pull any cards. I just want to leave it there because I feel in the judgment card and the resurrection of the ghost dance, it is the initiated warrior that's coming through. It is the healer warrior, maybe the Ophiuchus, Michael warrior that protects the earth, that helps Virgo plant seeds in clean ground, free from his own detritus. And that's it. I'm going to leave you with my love and my thanks for being here. And I will be back with you again soon. Take care, honeys. Bye.